So I gotta get out west. I gotta get into the agriculture because I'm gonna be their little doctor, their little med nurse. So I know I've had it all. I'm like, shit, this fucking almost killed me too. Um, and also, we know we can't trust you in dentistry, and we gotta start getting that. Like, we gotta go to Tijuana to get the kind of care we need. And, you know, yeah, there's a lot to it. But anyways, I attest to people's character. You know, if I keep them in a protected place and I don't call them out in a negative way, it's because they're fine there. You know, they never gave me a reason not to like them. They didn't finance it. You know, so either way, I saw you do so many shitty things in agriculture to start taking it over. Okay, now let's talk to Monsanto and Bayer and all you motherfuckers that never have to go to jail. You know, you never have to go to jail for anything you do to fucking make your dime. Okay, to keep your fucking country funded off of a welfare program we're funding. So, all of our agriculture, if you start shipping in agriculture strictly from Europe into Canada, that's not going to work for Canadians. Okay, they're not going to be able to, the food won't stay fresh long enough. You know, that's where we caught your drugs coming in from. You know, and the candy was getting compromised, and they were doing it through tourism because there was a big market there. All right, and then they were doing like warehouse parties and raves and things like that, and to some degree that's fine, but really it's not. Like, it's really not. So I was like, this shit's gotta go, you know, where we're finding them. Because you can contact all sorts of shit, you know, like when you're doing close skin to skin contact, everybody's sweating together and fucking and thinking that's the way to live, you know, like it's no longer just a light show, you know. So like I'm a little bit indifferent. I read the study, I listened to the studies. You know, pharmaceutical drug companies kill more people in a day than street drugs do in a year. You know, so your doctors finally started getting popped for things like manslaughter. You know, like, you need to know better. Why aren't you doing your fucking job since you're sitting here patrolling us and our crops? You know, and then that's what they're doing. That's why I'm saying, like, they also embezzle off of us when they steal our crops or when they compromise them.